What's up, sports bettors? It starts tomorrow. Let's go. We have Bills-Rams, an epic first game, week one of the NFL season. So let's dive into it. And I have two very profitable player props that I'm excited to share with you. But before diving into that, let's go to the money line. So on the money line, there's not a ton of discrepancies, right? The Bills are roughly minus 130 favorites, kind of across the entire sports betting market. You can see, they're juiced all the way up to minus 141 on Sports Interaction, but for the most part, not many discrepancies. However, in this video, we're going to be going through player props. So what we can do is kind of check out the total before I dive into my bets, see what the total is currently at. So the total's at 51.5, 52 on most sportsbooks. I haven't really seen this move. So I don't have a play on the money line. I don't have a play on the total. What I have is two good player props, right? And as a sharp bettor, you always have to follow the value. You always have to look for where the value is. Sometimes it's on money lines, sometimes it's not, right? And the way that OddsJam works is for every sport, NFL, CFL, college football, OddsJam is really constantly scanning, as you can kind of see, all of these odds in real time to try to find you these sharp bets, right? Bets with an edge. So the first bet available is Devin Singletary over 14.5 receiving yards, right? So what's so fascinating about sports betting is the fact that all of these bookmakers, they price things independently, right? So DraftKings, they want to be unique. They set their odds differently than Caesars, FanDuel, Pinnacle. And there's like the spectrum of sportsbook sharpness. And Pinnacle is obviously the sharpest sportsbook in the world, the most efficient betting market, so you should put the most weight in their odds. And what you can see right here is, wow, Pinnacle and DraftKings both have the over 14.5 receiving yards for Devin Singletary juiced to minus 120. So they have this outcome favored. They have the over more juice than the under, which means both DraftKings and Pinnacle, they think the over is more likely to hit, right? So what you can do is kind of like check out a no-vig odds calculator. And if we put in minus 120, minus 110 and remove the juice, what you'll see is, wow, the true odds are minus 104 according to Pinnacle and DraftKings. So what OddsJam does is kind of like look at all of the data in the betting market, all of the odds, and try to tell you what the true price is once you remove the VIG from all of these sports books. But long story short, it's pretty clear Caesars is a pricing discrepancy, and this is a good bet with value, being able to get Singletary over 14.5 receiving yards. So I ended up locking it in. And that's the first play I'm going with at plus 106 odds. As you can see right here, I hit it for $100, or we'll go there in a second. And this bet has a 3.8% profit margin, so my bet has 380 in EV in profit margin. So we'll go over some bonus plays after, but my next official play is going to be Henderson under 29.5 rushing yards. So what you'll notice is DraftKings has the under favored. Pinnacle has it a coin flip, right? Minus 115 on the over, minus 115 on the under. And we're able to get this plus 106, another massive pricing discrepancy, which is what OddsJam alerts you to, right? It's data-driven sports betting. There's no like finger in the air BS kind of thing. It's looking at real-time market data across the entire spectrum of, dozens of sports books. Where's the value in the odds? Where's the discrepancies? Because that's how the sharps, right? That's how the pros make money. They look for discrepancies. They don't place crazy parlays. People doing this full-time for a living. They're looking for discrepancies in the odds and trying to extract edges and profit margins where they can, right? And they're not trying to get rich quick and play the scratch-off lottery. But anyways, two bets. So these are the two plays I locked in. A bonus play that we can go through is Devin Singletary over 46.5 rushing yards. So we already have his receiving yards. This bet's lower profit margin, but maybe one you want to lock in as well. So that's another option. We can continue to go through Stafford over 267.5 passing yards. Another option, Stafford over 36.5 passing attempts. Also doesn't seem terrible. Pinnacle has this juice towards the over. And then we have the first half total points under 26.5, minus 110 on FanDuel. This one I actually do like a lot. You can see, Pinnacle and DraftKings are juicing this above minus 120. You're able to pick up minus 110. But anyways, here are my two bets. Locked in these two plays, Devin Singletary and Devin Singletary and Henderson for under 29.5 for Henderson at plus 106 odds, and then Singletary over 14.5 receiving yards at plus 106 odds. Here are their respective profit margins. So our bets have a total profit margin of $7.42, right? Kind of just how math works, right? You just take your profit margin from OddsJam, which is just based on, real-time market data. There's no BS going on. It's just looking at real-time odds from DraftKings, Pinnacle, all the sportsbooks in the market. What's the true price of a bet? And then what's your profit margin based on the sportsbook that's slipping up and, giving you way too good of odds to be true, where the bet you're placing outweighs the vig and you have a positive profit margin. So 3.8% profit margin right here. Always placing the bet in bold with a circle around it, so that's the play you want to be on. Singletary over 14.5 receiving yards at plus 106, 3.8% profit margin. So we played it for $100. So our bet has, 100 times 3.8%, 380 in EV, 362 in EV on the next one. So 742 in total profit margin. And again, your goal as a sharp bettor, as you can kind of see here, is place as many, kind of sharp bets as you can on a daily basis. We got the Dolphins minus half on the first quarter spread. We have some UFC bets. We have the Raiders. We have Charles Oliveira on the money line. Wherever the value is, I'm following. And that's what you should be doing as well. And kind of just basically placing every positive EV bet you can, forming your own hedge fund of profitable bets. It's essentially what you're doing. So yeah, the final thing I like to go through is just based on your unit size, how many bets would you have to place per day to kind of earn a specific amount of money if you have profit goals. So if your profit goal is $750 a month, you'd have to place 14.2 bets a day. If you're placing bets with an average EV percentage of 3.5%, so here it's 3.8%, but if you're placing bets with an average profit margin of 3.8%, then or 3.5% with a $50 bet size, straight betting everything for one unit, $50, you would have to place 14 bets a day to make $750 a month with a 3.5% profit margin. So, consistency is important, right? You got to place a lot of bets. Because, again, there's no getting rich quick in sports betting. But these are the two sharpest bets, most profitable, mathematically best player props for tomorrow. Both are on Caesars, so if you have Caesars available, lock them in, and let's make some money.